The topic of today's lecture is vitellogenesis in birds, and it is formation of yolk. And yolk is the most prominent cytoplasmic component of the egg in many animals. The process of laying down of the yolk in the primary oocyte is called as vitellogenesis, and this takes place in the prophase 1 of meiosis 1. While talking about the composition of the yolk is a heterogeneous substance and a mixture of many chemical substances which vary in different animals. Its main components are proteins, phospholipids, neutral fats, and glycogen. The yolk in which protein dominate is called protein yolk, and this kind of the yolk is found in the eggs of invertebrates and in some lower chordates, whereas the yolk in which phospholipids and fat dominates, that kind of yolk is called fatty yolk, or you can say lipoid yolk. In different type of organisms, two type of forms of yolk has been observed. One is granular yolk, another is yolk platelets. And the eggs of the invertebrates and lower chordates have yolk in the forms of fine granules. It is called granular yolk. And in vertebrate egg, yolk is present as large, flattened, and ovoid membranous bound organelles, and these organelles are called as yolk platelets. So yolk platelets consist of primarily two components. One is phosphobitin, another is lipovitalin. Phosphobitin is a phosphoprotein, and about half of the amino acid residues in phosphobitin are phosphorylated serine. So serine phosphorylated serine is dominant here in the phosphobitin. When we talk about lipobitin, it is a lipophosphoprotein and it contains approximate 17% of lipids. The yolk forms about 45% of weight of the amphibian eggs and as much as 90% part of the bird egg. So, in case of birds, the 90% part of the egg is composed of yolk. On the basis of the site of production of raw material from which the yolk is synthesized, the synthesis of yolk is divided into two categories: autosynthesis and heterosynthesis. In case of autosynthesis, the raw materials for the yolk production are formed in the oocyte itself, whereas in heterosynthesis, raw materials are formed outside the oocyte and from where from where mostly in liver. So raw materials are formed in liver and imported into the oocytes later on via transportation through the blood. Animals may produce yolk by either or both the methods. In some kind of animal, only autosynthesis is used. In another kind of animals, autosynthesis and heterosynthesis, both procedures are used for the production of yolk. So, when we talk about the process of vitellogenesis in case of birds, the birds are having eggs which are macrolacethal as well as heterolacethal. Macrolacethals mean they are having very large amount of yolk inside this uh, ooplasm, and resulting they are also very large in size. And what does heterolacetal mean? It means the yolk is unevenly distributed throughout the cytoplasm. And the yolk lies in compact mass inside the egg, and the cytoplasm is restricted in a very thin area. And that thin area is like a cytoplasmic cap. So cytoplasmic cap contains the egg's nucleus, means the genetic information is restricted in a very small area in the cytoplasmic cap, and that is present on the animal pole side. When we talk about the composition of yolk, it is 48.7% water, more than 16% protein, and more than 32% phospholipids and fats are present in the yolk. Proteins and lipids of the yolk are produced in the liver and then transported to the ovary by the blood circulations. Means they are producing the yolk in a site that is somewhere far distant from the developing oocyte, or you can say ovary. So liver में produce हो रहा है precursor of yolk, and after uh, their transportation into the blood, they enter into the developing oocyte for the completion of the process that is of vitellogenesis. So, two kinds of proteins are present in the egg yolk of the birds, and these proteins are phosphovitin and lipovitellin. So, lipovitellin is a water soluble protein, but a part of lipovitellin gets bound with the phosphovitin and make it water insoluble. And as far as the presence of fats, or you can say lipids, are concerned in case of yolk, the fats which are present are in the form of neutral fats, phosphatides, and cholesterol. So the yolk synthesis in case of birds is heterosynthetic type. It means the raw materials for the yolk are synthesized somewhere else, or you can say other than oocytes itself. So in case of heterosynthesis in birds, the yolk precursor, and what is yolk precursor? Vitellogenin. And vitellogenin is a glycolipophosphoroprotein, and this is the key ingredient, or you can say the main ingredient that forms the yolk. This is synthesized into the maternal liver, and it is carried to the oocyte by blood circulation. In the ovaries, or you can say in case of oocyte, it is taken by the process of receptor mediated endocytosis. This special kind of receptors are present on oolemma. Oolemma is what? Oolemma is the membrane of oocyte. Plasma membrane of oocyte is called oolemma. So, receptor mediated endocytosis will mediate the intake of vitellogenin by oocytes. These endocytotic vesicles have a bristle coat of protein. That protein is called clathrin, and on the cytoplasmic side. So, the site where oocyte takes the vitellogenin, there is present a specific kind of protein coating on the cytoplasmic end of the oocyte, and that coating is of clathrin protein. And on the extracellular side of the oolemma, there is present a glycocalyx layer. So vitellogenin binds at glycocalyx outside the oocyte, and later on taken by receptor mediated endocytosis, and these vesicles pinch off from the plasma membrane in the form of coated vesicles. Means vitellogenin by transportation of blood will enter into the oocyte, and in the oocyte these receptors will bound to the vitellogenin. Vesicles are formed, and which are carrying vitellogenin. Okay, this protein is present in the endocytotic vesicles. So inside the cytoplasm now, these coated vesicles lose their bristle coat, mean clathrin is lost, and they form the smooth texture that is called endosomes. So जितने भी coated vesicles हैं, they will lose their bristle coat, or you can say clathrin coating, and they will convert into endosomes. So these are smooth vesicles. Now later on, these endosomes fuse to form the multivesicular bodies. More than two endosomes fuse to form the multivesicular bodies. Now, what is multivesicular body? This is simply a vesicle, large vesicle, membrane bound vesicle in which small vesicles are present, and that vesicles are containing विटेलोजेनिन. उनके अंदर क्या प्रेजेंट है? विटेलोजेनेसिस. सो एक कॉमन बाउंड्री के अंदर सारा विटेलोजेनिन प्रेजेंट हो जाता है. एंड लेटर ऑन द प्रोसेस ऑफ कंडेंसेशन टेक प्लेस इन द these multivesicular bodies, and after the condensation process and after the crystallization, these multivesicular bodies are converted into primordial yolk platelets. After condensation and crystallization of this protein, these multivesicular bodies are converted into primordial yolk platelets. Later on, these primordial yolk platelets fuse to form the yolk platelets. स्मॉल जो प्लेटलेट्स थे उन्होंने क्या किया? फ्यूज करके लार्ज प्लेटलेट्स बना दिए, एंड दैट प्लेटलेट आर कॉल्ड yolk platelets. Young oocytes have centrally located germinal vesicles and uniformly distributed yolk platelets in the subcortical cytoplasm. This is the case of young oocytes when there is no maturation before the process of vitellogenesis, means in the phase of pre-vitellogenesis, means before the process of vitellogenesis. Later on, Internal displacement carries the germinal vesicles into the animal pole and yolk platelets into the vegetal hemisphere. So this is internal adjustment. After the process is over, the yolk is present in the vegetal hemisphere as well as the middle of the egg. Also in the animal pole too, where the nucleus is present, because cytoplasm is restricted to a very small area, so maximum part of the egg is occupied by the yolk. So this process of displacement introduces asymmetry in the oocyte, and that asymmetry is in the form of animal vegetal axis. So in this picture you can see the complete process of yolk platelet formation. This is the membrane of oocyte, and here you can see the clathrin coated vesicles. So when vitellogenin come from the blood circulation, binds to this site, this particular site on the receptor, and by the process of receptor mediated endocytosis, these vesicles are taken inside the ooplasm. So this is coated vesicle now in the ooplasm. After some time, this coated vesicle loses its clathrin and converts into endosomes. Now these endosomes fuse together to form the large body, and these large bodies are called multivascular bodies. And later on, after condensation, very much condensation, as well as crystallization of the proteins, this body is converted into primordial yolk platelets. Later on, during the finalization of vitellogenesis, or you can say on the completion of process of vitellogenesis, these primordial yolk platelets further fuse to form the large platelets, and these platelets are called as the yolk platelets. In this slide, we will learn about the hormonal regulation of vitellogenesis. So, vitellogenin is basically a female specific protein, means it is produced in females only. So, this is in response of the hormone estrogen. Okay, estrogen hormone is basically responsible for the production of vitellogenin in hepatocytes, or you can say liver cells. And estrogen is produced by the follicular cells, granulosa cells. That estrogen move to liver cells via the blood circulation, and here estrogen is the main hormone which provoke the synthesis of vitellogenin in the hepatocyte. So in this flow chart, you can see this is the developing oocyte. This layer is granulosa layer and outer is thecal layer. So estrogen is produced from granulosa layer, you can say follicular cells, developing oocyte, and this estrogen enters into the liver via the blood circulation. Here it enter into the nucleus of hepatocytes. This is the nucleus of hepatocyte, and this part is of liver. So it enters into the nucleus of hepatocytes, um, after binding to the special receptor which are meant for the estrogen. So after estrogen binds to the receptors present in the cytoplasm of the hepatocytes, the complete complex is transported via the nuclear pore complex to the DNA, and here it binds to the specific region which is concerned with the production of vitellogenin protein. So it binds to the vitellogenin gene in the nucleus that directs the formation of vitellogenin mRNA, and further the protein is synthesized, and this protein is vitellogenin protein. From here this vitellogenin protein enter into the blood circulation, and after that into the developing oocytes. After entering into the oocyte, this vitellogenin protein is further cleaved into two parts, lipovitellin and phosphovitine. Lipovitellin and phosphobitins. So these units further gets arranged into crystalline lattice, and in yolk platelet two molecule of phosphobitin are associated with one molecule of lipovitellin. So this is general flow chart which explain the hormonal regulation of vitellogenin. Other than estrogen, certain hormones like growth hormone are also taken as responsible for the production of vitellogenin. Hormone from the pituitary gland, that is gonadotropin releasing hormone, is the ultimate cause. which will further enhance the production of estrogen. So when we talk about the hormonal regulation, first the hormone from the pituitary gland, that is gonadotropin, will act on the developing follicle. After its stimulation, after stimulation by gonadotropin, estrogens are produced. They will act on the hepatocyte nucleus. Vitellogenin is produced that will enter via blood circulation in the developing oocyte, where it is cleaved into lipovitalin and phosphobitin. After that, the arrangement will be in the crystalline lattice, in which two molecules of phosphobitin are associated with one molecule of lipovitalin. This image will further clarify the process. Now, this is the estradiol. Estradiol means estrogen hormone, a type of uh, estrogen. Okay, so estradiol is a estrogen. So these red dots are the hormone, which is estrogen, which is produced by the developing follicle under the stimulation of gonadotropin releasing hormone. Now this estradiol via the blood circulation enter into the hepatocyte. This is the hepatocyte, means the cells in the liver. So that enters into the uh, cytoplasm, where it binds to the receptor of estrogen. After combination of the estrogen with the receptor, it is moved via the nuclear pore into the nucleus. Here, genetic material is present, and this complex will bind specifically to the vitellogenin gene. And vitellogenin gene is what? It is responsible for the production of, or you can say synthesis of, vitellogenin mRNA. And this mRNA will carry message in the cytoplasm for the production of vitellogenin protein. Now, this is after stimulation of this complex, vitellogenin gene will be activated, vitellogenin mRNA will be produced, and it will come out through the nuclear pore and give a message in the cytoplasm that there is a need of vitellogenin. So this is the endoplasmic reticulum, and these small dots are ribosomes. So ribosomes are ultimate protein factory, and as a result of message given by vitellogenin mRNA, here vitellogenin polypeptide is produced. So this is the complex ribosomal units. This is the mRNA which is having the message regarding the production of vitellogenin. So through this factory, or you can say through this complex, this vitellogenin polypeptide is produced. After its production, it is packed in the form of secretory vesicles by Golgi apparatus, and from here it enters into the blood circulation. Okay, this vitellogenin is entering into the blood circulation, and from here again it go to developing oocyte for further uh, for the further process of vitellogenesis, or you can say the yolk formation.